Hi, I'm Andrew. Don't most of us have a special intuitive ability, but we only sort of know about it or we make fun of it? I mean, who cares about it really anyway? That's the prevailing attitude in the culture. Isn't it more of a fringe topic for most people? And I don't even really care about it per se, except for what I discovered it could do. And I really have to tell you a little bit about myself so you can understand the context. You see, I discovered that the intuition is like a forgotten key, and it can unlock, well, you're going to discover what it can unlock because it's like it can almost unlock anything. Let me give you a little snapshot of my story. When I was a kid, I looked around at all the adults and I thought to myself, there's something wrong here. I had this sense back then that who we are is almost unlimited. But these adults looked more like robots, or maybe like hamsters on an endless treadmill. In my young mind, I had another intuition that the key to change this was simple, and that I had to go out and find it when I got bigger. When I did get bigger and started researching it, I realized that the key, of course, is hidden in our unconscious mind, the part that knows everything and is connected to our higher spiritual self as well. But what's the best way to access it? I took many courses in the field over the years, and finally, in the end, when I put all the information together, it was like fitting the pieces of a puzzle. For I finally realized that we use that intuitive connection to our unconscious mind all the time. But because we don't do it in a meditative or focused way, we don't do it effectively, and so we don't really know that that's what's happening. This is a little ridiculous, but imagine that none of us knew that we could use our arms. They just sort of flopped around. But once in a while, you'd use one of your arms and you go, oh my God, that was great. Did you see what I just did with my arm? Using an intuitive connection to that knowing part of us is about as powerful as the use of our arms. And we can see examples of what this can do everywhere in the culture. In the movies, for example, it happens all the time. The main character starts out like a dork, and then somehow they make a shift and tap into that knowing part of themselves. And then things start to happen like magic. In one of the earliest movies, The Wizard of Oz, there's a scene in the end where the good witch is waving her wand behind Dorothy. And the Scarecrow says, well, why didn't you tell Dorothy that she could use her intuition basically to get whatever she wanted? And the good witch says, well, she wouldn't have believed me before. So the whole movie is about tapping into a different level of perception. So that's basically what we're talking about. Using my intuition, for example, I developed a meditation that is very fast and simple, but it allows me greater and greater access to that part of myself. It turns out that, almost like Dorothy discovered, it's a lot simpler to use our intuition than most people think. Most of us know something instinctively about all this. At least most of us know that our life has potential that isn't being expressed. If you can relate to that, sign up for our free newsletter below and you'll get a really good idea of what I'm talking about.